On a vibrant morning in the beautiful city of Parthenope, a girl is born to a wealthy family on the seashore, and she is given the same name as her city, Parthenope. Her brother and the housekeeper's son Sandrino, both good friends, watch in awe. 18 years later, she grows up to be a beautiful woman. Returning from a swim on the same seashore, Sandrino, who is awestruck by her beauty and most certainly is obsessed with her. She is well aware of the qualities she possesses and cherishes it. She teases Sandrino with her beauty and lures him to her, but never lets him in completely. One morning, he asks her for marriage, but she has dreams further than that. She goes for a college interview to choose philosophy as a course of study. She is too good in the interview. Her intelligence attracts the senior interviewer, Devato. After a few lines of chatting, he moves past her, saying she knows everything. However, Parthenope says that she doesn't know what anthropology means. He gives her a plain explanation, since that's what she can afford, and not to go deeper into the subject. Parthenope's brother Raimondo is now a full-grown man and is weirdly obsessed with his sister. He is a sad and lonely man. He feels a sense of melancholy all the time, struggling to find happiness. At a family gathering, Parthenope says she has picked up a course on anthropology under the guidance of Professor Devato. At the lunch table, as everyone is talking, it is revealed that Raimondo has gotten burned aside his lips. Her sister, being concerned, asks him about it, and he shows her the place. Without any hesitation, Parthenope kisses him there, which their mother sees not very pleasantly, and neither does Sandrino. Later, another absurd sequence follows as we see Sandrino in Parthenope's room smelling her bikini, as Raimondo finds it and witnesses it with a sense of immense sadness on his face and a little smile. Their parents say he is fragile. He goes to Parthenope's room at night and finds her sleeping, wearing barely anything. 5 more years go by, and Parthenope and her brother still have this weird intimacy between them. They lie together with one another, smoking a cigarette. Raimondo, even though is a little too attracted to her, for her it is merely platonic. Later, on a swim, he tells her they should go to another city with Sandrino. With excitement, he almost kisses her, but she falls back. They do visit, and at the hotel, Parthenope is met with an American guest named John Cheever. She makes John ask her for lunch, and there happens so. The man is rather a sad individual who likes poetry and is mesmerized by her beauty like everyone else. An acting agent named Flora Malva gives her card, saying she will make a great actress. In the sea of thoughts, John falls down from his chair. Parthenope takes him away to his room, where he finds pages of writing hanging and a passage on the typewriter that she reads. Parthenope goes to him and asks if she can fall in love with him, but apparently Mr. John is homosexual and there is no possibility. Later at a dance, Parthenope is met with a wealthy man who has been trying to get her attention since the morning. Raimondo also finds his old girlfriend Alba, and they all go out themselves. And on the street, when they come across, Raimondo gives off a look of anger to Parthenope. She goes to the place of the man, but refuses to be any more intimate with him, and leaves with merely a few conversations. She goes out and meets with John once again, who is going for a walk, and refuses to take her in, saying he doesn't want to waste her youthful energy. The weird brother, Raimondo, on the other hand, fails to get intimate with his girlfriend, remaining grumpy and creepy. Sandrino, on the other hand, is sitting alone at the party as a couple makes out beside him, but soon he is relieved seeing Parthenope coming. She doesn't join him, but goes lie down over an aisle while Raimondo returns and sees her with Sandrino in awe as usual. Later, Sandrino joins her in a slow dance, and Raimondo goes and attends him as well. They are both weirdly intimate in the dance as well. In the morning, both Parthenope and Sandrino make out as Raimondo leaves them brokenhearted. He goes on to sit by the railings over the ledge and let himself fall. Parthenope is devastated by the suicide of her brother, and later, she wants to study anthropological reasons for suicide, but Professor Murata suggests she study the reasons for miracle instead. One night, Parthenope's mother says that it's her fault that Raimondo has killed himself. A year later, Parthenope visits Flora, the acting agent. Flora wears a black mask on her face and freely engages in conversation with her, although Parthenope barely says anything and rather listens to her personal story. She also advises her to attend an art show by a woman named Greta Kuhl. The caretaker of the house says that a Brazilian surgeon had butchered her. She has also kind of gotten crazy. At night, she calls Parthenope at her bath and asks her to kiss her. She hasn't kissed anyone in ages for her face. She is ashamed to show her face to Parthenope, even, but does so amongst the fog. They kiss one another passionately, as well as her mother. Parthenope's father has become numb after the death of Raimondo. One night, Parthenope attends an art show by Greta Kuhl, who presents a statue and says that the audience might find it ugly because they are depressed. The city they live in is a disgraceful town, and they have lost perception of beauty. She says that she is leaving the town, and they are all dead to her making the speech, rather a bit unpleasant. After it is done, she is given her check, but it is not as it was talked about. But the manager says that she has only humiliated them, and she should go and prostitute herself. She loses her cool and starts biting off his ear until her wig is being taken off. She runs away. It is Parthenope who later brings her the wig. She asks her to sit and gives off a speech about her life similar to Flora's. She is aware that Parthenope wants to become an actress, so she looks at her for some moments and tells her that she cannot become an actress. She has a beautiful face, but her eyes are dull and joyless. She goes out and meets with a young man who takes her on a ride around the city filled with the energetic beauty of the night. He takes her through a street between the slums that Parthenope witnesses with a sense of slight dread. The man then takes her to an exhibition of live pornography, where two young people are directed to have sex with one another in front of an audience. Later, she ends up making love with the man. At the university, the results of the thesis have arrived, and Parthenope has gotten the full marks. After that, Murata calls her up and says that she has been too late to graduate, but apparently she has wasted a few years thinking she can become an actress. Her exam is done, but she still has some questions unanswered. Murata asks her to visit him a few months later and dismisses her. Days pass by. Parthenope's father is still numb, and the grief persists with her still. One morning, as she is with Sandrino after a long time who is about to leave the city, she accuses him of the death of Raimondo, which angers him gravely. He says that she has become cold. Parthenope admits that he was her first love, while Sandrino wishes to be her last as well. She tells him that he will forget her soon and get married to someone. He will only remember her when there is a conflict in the marriage. They kiss each other goodbye. She meets with Murata as they talk, and she sits beside him to take the interviews of the new students. She comes across a pregnant student who is barely able to answer anything correctly, but she lets her pass anyway, seeing her condition. Later, she explains it to Murata as they talk about philosophy and life. Murata talks of his son, and as Parthenope asks him about it, he brings the topic of his brother. He asks why did he commit suicide. Parthenope has no answer for that. Murata asks her if she has let go of her pain, and she nods. He further asks if her father has hugged her since then, and the answer is no. He asks if she would hug him, and she does so instantly. Years go by, and one day Murata asks her to meet him at his house where he lives with his son. She goes there and says that she has been asked for a publication in another city under the guidance of someone named Terrasone. Murata says that he knows him, and he is a scoundrel. Parthenope moves to the topic of what Murata wants to tell her. He says that he is retiring soon, and a competition will be held for his position, which she should take part in. Then he tells her the real reason he has asked in the house is to show her his son, but he only lets her hear his laughter and not meet him. Parthenope meets with Terrasone, a priest at a local church. He is tired of his work. Even though people think of him as miraculous, he doesn't admit it and drives him away. He showers the idea of Christianity to Parthenope, and she listens with diligence. She looks around and she knows there's a treasure hidden in the church and desires to see it, but it is not the time, says Terrasone. After some nights at the church, listening to Terrasone's speeches on God and absurdity, the day finally comes when he says he is ready to show the hidden treasure. He lets her wear it all over her body, and both of them being aroused by one another, she lets him touch herself. Parthenope returns to Naples and meets with Murata once again. He finally tells her that anthropology is seeing, but she wonders if it is that simple. Seeing is the last thing a human does when everything else fades in front of them as they get older. Murata then takes her to show his son. Go into the other room. Parthenope finds something that leaves her in wonder. She finds a son, a huge human embodiment, sitting on a sofa watching the television and occasionally laughing. His face is of a child, and his figure is swollen to the point as if it will burst. He says hello to Parthenope, and she returns it. Murata says it is made of salt and water, just like the sea. Parthenope touches its belly as he laughs constantly. Parthenope is old now, and she has her students attending who are curious about her personal life, which is hidden from all of them. She has never got married, and neither has any children. It's now present time, and a huge crowd is present to attend her speech. In the end, standing by the same railing from where her brother jumped off, Parthenope reminiscences about her past and wonders about her life, and gradually moves on with the rest of her life. Parthenope is an exercise in style. Like other Sorrentino films, this is electrifyingly beautiful, capturing the beauty of Naples and his odd obsession with it, a city that is visibly gorgeous, but the lives are mundane. Everything else about the film is mere pretentiousness. The writing is arguably critical, with scattered philosophical ideas forced into here and there. It is also a show of womanhood from the perspective of a man who clearly fails to bring any kind of reality to it. But what works here is Sorrentino never tries to make it a slice-of-life drama. He attempts the surrealist tone. Those who will personally connect with the passionate beauty of the visuals will resonate with the film and the sense of peculiar melancholy it carries under each breath. This film has a soul, and it is one of the most good-looking cinemas in recent years. Celeste Dallaporte as Parthenope delivers an exquisite performance, despite the fact she never gets a good screenplay that she deserves. The others are fine. The background score and the cinematography blend in exquisitely well, and for the audience who won't connect with the atmosphere of the film, this will merely be a terrible waste of time. We personally give this 3 stars. So that was the video. For more recaps like this, stay subscribed to the channel. And if you have enjoyed the video, you may also like this.